Alrighty, here's the starting grid for the main event. Toby Estes on pole position alongside him, Cody Pannell. They locked themselves into qualifying. Didn't have to go through the heat races. Everyone else did. Brian Rupert and Tom Sears make up row number 2. Matthew Kent and Jacob Blankenship make up row number 3. Seth Wansing on the outside of row 4. Alongside him is the 48 of Tristan Catania. Tommy Reynolds in the 7 car on the outside of row number 5 alongside Thomas Andrews. Dustin Painter and Joshua Gaiman on the 6th row of the field. Behind them, it is row number 7, Jonathan Hohenbrink and Trey Kirk. These are the last drivers to make it in through the heat races themselves. 15th on down are those that had to use the last chance qualifier. Jeremy Breo won the last chance qualifier. He'll start 15th. Alongside him in row 8, his team sideswipe teammate Alex Szymkowski in the 17. Donald Ray and Jonathan Smeal make up row 9. Row 10, Cody Harger and Pete Woodrum in row number 10. James Kerr, our Fontana race winner, alongside Kevin Feimster, who debuted last week at Phoenix. He'll be in row number 11. Row 12 is Terry Gabbard and Ben Choate. In the last few rows of the grid coming up here, Cody Riggs and Briley Wright in row 13. Row 14, Tommy Withers on the outside of Joshua Garrison. Daniel Maddox, the last car on track here, alongside Trey Bass. But it's Estes, Pannell, Sears, Rupert, Blankenship, Kent at the top of the order. Start us off, 163 laps set to be underway. It's time to get hot in Atlanta. Pace cars off, green flags in the air. We are underway here in Atlanta. A good job by Estes to get a jump there on Pannell. But here we go. Good look at everyone coming down the back straightaway out of turn number 2. Oh, someone tagged the wall. That was Tom Sears that tagged the wall. Bounced off of it. I believe Rupert followed him. But so far, no harm, no foul. Again, Tom Sears, 3rd place for the number 14. As we get underway here in Atlanta. It's Estes at the front with the most clean air. Cody Pannell a distant second. It feels like 9/10 of a second. That's what that looks like. Tom Sears in 3rd, as that was Tristan Catania. On the apron, he's going to have to file back in, but he's going to drop a lot of spots. He's down 12 spots already. Started in the top 10, down to 19. Everyone's still rolling here. Josh Garrison as Toby Estes. What has happened to him? Never mind, nothing's happened to him. Oh, something did happen there to Thomas Andrews. Something's still happening there with Thomas Andrews. A good save for him. And a good save for Breo, who had to go all the way down towards the inside wall to avoid him and then come back before turn 3. Started freaking out because I saw Toby Estes fall down the order. It was just a scoreboard, I think, glitch. Estes still leading. Exodus at the fastest lap of the race at 31.5. But now the opening stanza of the race fully out of the way. Now it's time to settle into a groove. You see the top line being the preferred line for most of the drivers here. No one really wanted to use that bottom unless they were trying to make a pass happen. Top line and middle line where it's happening. As Breo tries to now take on Trey Kirk in the 66. Two of the team's sideswipe drivers going at it. Breo to the bottom. This is for 9. And Breo's got it. Matthew Kent continuing on what he built on at Phoenix, sitting 3rd. Started 5th. He's been doing a really good job of progressing here as we've been getting underway. A podium last week at Phoenix. Finished 2nd there. Right now he's sitting 3rd behind Cody Pannell. Right now he's looking really good, sitting out of Tommy Reynolds and Seth Lansing in the middle of that top 5. Tom Sears in 6th. Jacob Blankenship 7th. Brian Rupert 8th. Jeremy Breo up to 9th. Reminder that Jeremy Breo started 15th. He won the last chance qualifier. But he's got a little bit of ground to make up here if he's going to try to make it 3 in a row this season after winning Vegas and Phoenix. Reynolds gets by Kent for 3rd. Watch that pass happen. As Sears runs the top line, thinking about making a move on Lansing in the 9. And for those that are tuning in, we thank you for spending your Sunday nights here with the ARCS Racing Networks. I'm Clayton Hardy. We have started lap 9 of 163. It's going to be an endurance race, folks. But right now, so far, so good. Talk to drivers at the end of the race in Phoenix, and especially at the end of Vegas. Everyone was afraid that the race was going to be similar to what we saw at Phoenix, or at Vegas. It's actually been quite the opposite. No yellows so far in this event. Two cars in pit lane as Matthew Kent went for a little bit of a ride in the grass. He'll drop to the edge of the top 10, almost out of it. Dustin Painter as Josh Gaiman comes out of pit lane. That's a car spun. Everyone look out. Not sure that was Cody Pannell. Here's John Steele trying to get close to the top 10 here. He's sitting in 13th right behind Jonathan Hohenbrink, who beat him to the punch in the last chance qualify and heat 2, I believe. Excuse me, it was heat number 1 for Hohenbrink. But this is a battle for 11, including Donald Ray, our race winner from Daytona. Tom Sears, I believe he might have tied the wall, or at least came really close to it. Down the top 5. Heating up. Reynolds in 2nd, leading this line. But it's a full 4.7 between Reynolds and Toby Estes, our pole sitter, who took off like a rocket ship and has not looked back. It's Kirk, Rupert, Painter, and Szymkowski side by side, 2 rows deep. Rounding out the top 10, Matthew Kent in 11th, holding on to the edge of this line, and then there's a bit of a gap between Kent and Hohenbrink. That is a huge crash. And the caution does come out. That's Brian Rupert. And Jonathan Hohenbrink is a part of it. Hornbrink's going to get moving here. Several cars involved. It looks like Szymkowski's a part of it. So this was at the edge of the top 10. And again, we'll take a look at it here. So here's what happened. Here's a good look at it. Oh, Rupert just got really loose. And Hornbrink was trying to thread the needle, and it just didn't happen. We'll look at it again from Szymkowski. See if we can get a good look here. Yeah, you can see, like, here's a good freeze frame of it. You see Rupert's already lost, he's already loosened the car here. So as we play it here, it just snaps on him. Dustin Painter got a piece of it. Matthew Kent got a piece of it. And then there's Hornbrink as Szymkowski's, you can see the smoke. He's locked the tires up trying to keep from rolling backwards, but nothing that Hornbrink can do. And you see as we pan on back here, it does not get pretty. That is the 3 of Cody Riggs, who I think nails him. He does. That 3 car has continued to have trouble in the 48 Catania. He's rolling up. He sees the 30 spinning. Just can't lope enough without spinning the car himself. So he tags the 3. Here's a good angle of it. And Hornbrink didn't really do anything wrong there. He's trying to roll out of the way. You could say that he probably should have just held the brakes, but he's trying to get out of the way. He's trying to get off the white line because he's assuming most people are still going to be there. And that just isn't the case. Alrighty, so you see Szymkowski, he's all the way down in 27th, now 1 lap down. Lights on the pace truck are off, which means we are about to go racing. It's Breo, Estes, Wansing, Reynolds, Kirk, Painter, Ray, Gabber, Wright, and Woodrow. Top 10. Pace truck will pull in the pit lane here in just a moment. There's the hard left for the pace truck. It's on Breo's control. Toby Estes on the outside. Toby Estes almost wheel spinned it into the wall. Still wheel spinning. Still wheel spinning. And that's a problem. That's going to be another yellow. Estes still trying to save it, and it is a bedlam behind. All tires on the 78 Toby Estes has brought out caution number 2 in very quick succession. And that took out a lot of cars. That was the front of the field. Wow. How many cars got through that? You're looking at the 42 of Ben Choate. The back of that car is torn up. Tristan Catania, we'll see if he got through. Looks like it might have been a little bit of damage on that right side, but it's survivable. There's Cody Pannell in the CarQuest Ford Mustang 28. Looks like he got through. Cody Harger, we know that he didn't get through. You can see the damage on that number 32 machine. There's Daniel Maddox in the number 10 Monster Energy machine. He did get through. There's a lot of cars that have to come to pit lane for damage repairs now. So we'll take a look at it. Pretty obvious to see what happened as it took out a lot of cars. You know, it's all on Toby Estes here. So you can see, we'll actually go back to the start here. We'll go back to the green flag. And it doesn't get much easier to see than this. Green flag comes out here. And he steps out once, twice, 3 times, and the 3rd time's not savable. Reynolds to the inside. And you see the bedlam behind. That's been choked. And you see all the cars that either had to come to a stop or were just collected in it. You see Tristan Catania, that 48 was on the apron. Looking at Toby Estes because of the second caution for wheel spinning the start. And when it's a car at the front of the field, it's so hard to avoid. But for Toby Estes, it's a lesson learned. Wheel spin on old tires is very real and very dangerous. And I don't know how much damage on that car. I don't believe he pit. Indeed, he didn't pit. He stayed out. So we might see the same thing happen again as they get ready to go here. So 1 to green here. We'll have to keep an eye on wheel spin again because the top 7 have not been to pit lane yet. Neither has the 51 of Briley Wright, who is in the 12th position on the outside lane behind that bright yellow ARCS machine of Tom Sears. There's Briley Wright and that number 51. And you see the damage on that car. He's trying to avoid using his fast repair. And for fairly good reason. The end of stage 1 is at the age of lap 40. Back underway here, Breo alongside Seth Lansing at the start. A lot cleaner start that time around. Somebody's tagged the wall. And that's a yellow. Who was it for? It might have been Szymkowski. No, Szymkowski wasn't a part of it. It was Ben Choate, I believe. He's part of it. Yeah, there he is coming out of the grass. Looks like Matthew Kent was involved as well as Jonathan Homebrink. So we're going to find out why. And that's an interesting freeze frame. We'll actually have to reround it a little bit. And it started ahead of them. It started with, I believe that's Cody Pannell in the 28. Or it started alongside him. No, it started behind him. It started with Brian Rupert. That's where it started. Brian Rupert. Because he tagged the wall entering 3. So we'll take a slow motion look at it. Yeah, you see the damage on the front of that car. Reduced turning. Doesn't bode well. Catania's got nowhere to go. Cody Harger on that outside lane, he gets by. But you see, inside the middle lane's blocked. And soon, momentum takes its course, and up to the wall they go. Ben Choate in that Kellogg's number 42. See Jonathan Homebrink in that number 20 involved. Tommy Andrews in that 2. He might have got away with that one. Same with Alex Szymkowski. That was a close call. You see Ben Choate spinning down to the bottom there. So we'll take a full motion look at it here. Again, we're under caution for the 3rd time today, and this is why. There's the 42 in pit lane. Tommy Riddle's also on pit lane, as well as Brian Rupert and Jonathan Homebrink. have to double check here. I believe the lights are on the pace truck. I think they might have moved this to a single file restart. I believe it is a single file restart here. Pace truck does come in, single file restart. Here we go. It's Breo, Wansing, Kirk, Estes, Painter, Gabbard, top 6. We're back underway after the third caution of the race. You're on lap 29. Side by side, it's Wansing on the bottom, Breo on the top. Breo holding strong on the top. Wansing just hasn't been able to get by him. He'll slot in right between Breo and Kirk. It's a sandwich that Wansing's pretty familiar with, being a team sideswipe sandwich. Toby Estes, our pole sitter, in 4th. A good recovery for him so far. Again, he's not pit. Everyone in the top 6 is yet to pit. Pete Woodrum in 8th also is not yet pit. So there's an advantage to them if they can make it to lap 40. They're still going to battle it out here. Again, for those that are unfamiliar with how all this works, there's 3 stages in this race. The first 40 laps, then laps 41 to 80, and then the end of the race. This series, the third stage, is essentially half of the race. But for the stages, first place in the stage gets 10 points, and it goes all the way down to 10th place, which gets 1 point. So there's a lot of points on the line in these stages to do well. So you're going to see a lot of drivers kind of incentivized to do well here and get some more of those points. Seth Wansing and Jeremy Breo looking really good to battle it out. Wansing at the bottom. Seems to be that's where he wants to be. It's just that Breo's got the momentum off the top lane to be able to run off. You see the gaggle of cars spit on back. That's Gabbard. Ahead of a 3-wide situation. Pannell was in the middle of it, so was Blankenship and Woodrum. Blankenship with that 85, still in the middle of it, dead smack in the middle of this group. As Gabbard to the grass. 4 cars saves it. But he's going to drop out of the top 10 like a rock. He's dropped down to 18th. Looking at this battle, you see the lead battle's gone down at the bottom of the screen. Cody Pannell's in 5th, and it's just an entire mass of cars behind him as everyone's running different lanes. This is the very top lane, down to the middle, down to the bottom. A lot of variations going on here. as we have 5 laps to go here in stage number 1. Blankenship in 6th is where he started. He's battling with Tom Sears. He's lost 3 spots from where he started. He did really well in the heats to try to make something happen. Somebody spun. Caution's out. That is Briley Wright, and I believe that's Kevin Feemster. It is Kevin Feemster. Caution number 4. This will end stage number 1. Well, to go and take a look at it here, that's the wrong yellow that we're looking at. This is the yellow we're looking at. And you see the yellow flag came out after they'd already spun. So we'll take a look at it. And it's just, yeah, Feemster got loose. Briley Wright, if anything, Briley Wright was going to be a little bit tight, but Feemster just got loose and got across his nose. There is nothing you can really say about that. We'll take another look at it. See if we can get a better angle of it. This is a closer shot. And we'll slow down. Yeah, Feemster just was getting loose. Now, Wright, you see, Wright was pushing. He was pushing up the track, but Feemster was already coming across his nose. He was already about 30 degrees across his nose by the time they made contact. See the roof flaps keeping the car on the ground enough. But that impact with the wall, even with all the reduced speed, still going to hurt. Now, for Briley Wright, this isn't the worst thing on the planet because Briley Wright has not been to pit lane yet. He's not used his fast repair, so he's got an ace up his sleeve here. But here's Feemster. Briley Wright's still going. Again, he's not been to pit lane yet. At the front, it's Catania. You see Szymkowski here. He's going to try to get the lucky, get a wave around here. Him and I believe Joshua gave him both. We're going to try to get a wave around here. It'll put Szymkowski on the lead lap. It'll put Gaiman 1 lap down. It'll put him, the first car 1 lap down, and almost guaranteed a lucky dog if another yellow comes out. So not the end of the world for these two, but for right now, it is imperative. Briley Wright, where is he at? He's on pit lane. He just now uses fast repair. So he's going to come back out. But you're going to see here with Gaiman and Szymkowski, a strategy game here. Szymkowski's going to be 22nd on the lead lap at the end of this line, and Gaiman will be the first car 1 lap down, pretty safely so. For if another yellow comes out during stage 2, provided he's able to stay in that position when the yellow comes out. So it's going to be a single file restart here. Tristan Catania leading the field of green. Green flag back in the air. We're underway. It's Catania, Reynolds, Sears, Breo to start stage number 2. You see the damage on Catania's car. He got the bonus point for leading a lap, but he's going to drop pretty quickly here. Yes, Reynolds is at the front of the field. He's got damage on his car too. The question at this point is how long until Jeremy Breo takes the lead of this race. That is a yellow flag, and it is for Pete Woodrum. It is for Pete Woodrum. It was further back in the pack, but here it is. Pete Woodrum in the 29. And it looks like it all started in turn 4. Yep. Started in turn 4. Pete Woodrum. Almost saves it, keeps it in the grass, keeps it in the grass, keeps it in the grass, and then loses it on the pit lane and spins up in front of cars. So relatively tame yellow. But that's why we're under yellow for the 5th time. So it's Breo, Reynolds, Estes, Sears, Kirk, Ray, Wansing, Pannell, Catania, and Harger in the top 10. John Smeal 11th, Cody Riggs in 12th. Then it's Kevin Feemster, Thomas Andrews, Briley Wright in 15th. Pete Woodrum in 16th. As a bunch of cars came down pit lane. Alrighty. So I believe we're about to be approaching 1 lap to green. You see 3 cars out of this race. Josh Garrison, Trey Bass, and Brian Rupert out of this race. It's Breo at the front. Then Reynolds, Estes, Sears, Kirk, Ray, Wansing, Pannell, Catania, Harger. Cars on the lead lap. 27 cars still running. This should be the last lap of yellow. Can't really see the safety car lights. They appear to be off, so we should be good. Three cars on the lead lap, 27 still rolling. Garrison, Rupert, Bass out. 23 on the lead lap down to Pete Woodrum in the 20. No, it's Garrison 23rd. Josh Garrison 23rd in the 61 car. Here we go. Pace car pulls off. Breo in control. Single bar restarts here in Atlanta. Breo goes. We're underway once again. Reynolds holding on to the back end of Jeremy Breo. And then number 7. A little further down, there's Estes in 3rd. As that was Reynolds that slipped down, got loose, saved it, but he'll drop spots here. At least a few. He'll end up in 7th here. Just at the fastest lap of the race, and he's got the bubble, the gap to kind of just sit back a little bit. As Trey Kirk goes to the bottom, Sears goes to the top. Toby Estes, the pulls it in the middle. It's going to be 3 wide out of 2. Be careful. Estes is going to get swallowed up. Sears up to 2nd. As he, I believe, might have just tagged the wall there. He's going to give it all back up. 3 wide still. Kirk on the bottom. It's Kirk, Estes, and Sears. You see Seth Lansing in that number 9. He's moving up the field again. He's up to 4th on the inside. He's battling with Tom Sears. Sears on the outside. Tag the wall there, not losing some momentum. Cody Pannell also in this conversation. Team sideswipe cars, 1st, 2nd, and 6th so far. I believe Reynolds there in 7th also as well. Cody Harger in the 8th spot. John Smeal in 9th. Donald Ray in 10th. Here we go. Ray is battling for 10th. That's Briley Wright, who just used a fast repair, so he's got a completely brand new car. Gonna try to put it to use against our Daytona race winner. I have to sit behind him at least another lap here. Briley Wright's gained 15 spots from the start. This is again the battle for 10th. Part of the larger battle for 7th. You see that there is a pretty significant gap there between Ray, Wright, Painter, and Riggs, and then everyone in front. See if they can catch him. Wright drifts up a little bit wide, leaves it open for Dustin Painter out of turn 4. So here we are, we're on lap 59 here of 163. There's Jeremy Breo, if you're wondering how far away he was. Breo's doing pretty well right now, 2.9 between him and Kerr. He is set sail. Breo is slowly losing a little bit of that gap. Trey Kerr trying to claw some of it back. Again, into stage 2 is on lap 80. Right now, it's looking pretty safe right now for Breo. 2.6, 2.7 between Breo and Kerr. Toby is another second behind that. This is Tobiesti. He's trying to stay in front of Cody Pannell. He's trying to make it a 1-2-3 for Team Sideswipe right now. Harger in 5th. Sears in 6th. Tommy Reynolds in 7th. He's recovering a little bit here. Then it's Lansing down to 8th. Jonathan Stein in 9th. And Donald Ray in the 10th spot. Pannell to the bottom, Tobiesti to the top. What's going to happen here? Still side by side for a 3rd lap. That's a car loose. That's Donald Ray. And that's going to be another yellow. It's got to be, and there it is. That was Ray. That was Reynolds. And I believe Dustin Painter. There's Dustin Painter. That's a gut wrencher. We had a really good green flag run going. But Donald Ray got a little bit loose. Here's my runner to yellow. And you see here, and again, another really interesting freeze frame. You see Ray already on the bottom there. Reynolds gets loose first, but then Ray gets loose on his own, and Painter just in the middle of both of them. Reynolds thinks he's safe until he's not, and hard impact to the inside wall kind of proves that. Donald Ray got the least out of that, whereas Tommy Reynolds is going to be struggling mightily now. He's already used his fast repair, I believe, so he's going to be in a world of hurt. There's Painter on pit lane, Donald Ray on pit lane as well. He's coming out of pit lane now. And Tommy Reynolds still out at the moment. Here we go. Jeremy Bray at the front of the field. Then it's Trey Kirk and Toby Estes in the top 3. Cody Pannell 4th. Seth Lansing 5th. Tom Sears in the 6th spot. Again, Breo at the front here. When we go back green, I believe we're going to have about 10 laps to go. The lights on the pace car are off. So we should have about 10 laps to go. It's Breo, Kirk, Estes, Pannell, Wansing. Again, stage 2 ends in about 10 laps when we go back green. Because it ends on lap 80. His truck is in. Breo in control of the restart, and he's going to go here. 10 laps to the end of stage 2. We'll see if we can make it that far, because it could get wild as everyone fights for stage points. 26 cars still running. 19 on the lead lap. There's a suspense somewhere. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, wow. A lot of cars involved in this one. Dustin Painter's a part of it. Joshua Gaiman, Tristan Catania, James Kerr. Thomas Andrews also involved. There's the 2 car of Andrews. Here's what happened. A good look. Oh, wow. Gaiman and Kerr at the same time hit the outside wall and came down. Kerr's on the brakes, but there's a bunch of cars that have to get through somewhere, and that's a... We're very late on the brakes there for Ben Choate. Had to have seen that coming. Right on board with Choate. He was one of the last ones on the scene. You see, he's slowing down here. You see the smoke, see the smoke, see the smoke. That was avoidable. Taking a look at it here in a moment. We're still under yellow. Everyone trying to catch back up to the pace car here. So Breo, Kirk, everyone's still staying out here, which is interesting because they've been out, especially those that are in the top 7. They've been on the same set of tires and everything since the end of stage 1, since lap 37. And I know they're going to probably try to make it to lap 80 to the end of stage 2, but that's not going to feel great by any stretch of the imagination. The first car that pit under this yellow, or under the last yellow, was Tommy Reynolds. Cody Harger is on Penalty 67 as well. Donald Ray penalty 67. Pete Woodruff, who had damage, was involved in that last incident. Just picked. But a lot of cars staying out here, trying to make it to the end of stage number 2, knowing that as it sits right now, it's a short run to the end of stage 2 and the halfway point. But here is why the caution is out. See accident here. Tagging the wall. Joshua Gaiman behind also tagged the wall. See him sliding down. There's Tommy Andrews. And it just gets really ugly. Again, that's why we are under yellow for the 7th time here at Atlanta. Green flag back in the air. Braille leads Trey Kirk, Toby Estes, and Cody Pannell. 4 laps to go in stage 2. Two laps to go in stage number 2. So breaking up pretty good for stage number 3. Everyone's spaced out a little bit here. We should see this one end under a regular green and white checkered flag here to end the stage. The question right now is, can Trey Kirk and Toby Estes keep up and pass Jeremy Braille before that point? You have 1.5 miles to figure it out. There's the green and white checkered flag. That'll end stage number 2. Jeremy Breo taking the full 10 points from stage 2. Had a Trey Kirk, Toby Estes, Cody Pannell, Seth Wansing, Jacob Blankenship in 6th. Alex Szymkowski recovers to take some stage points. He'll finish 7th. Tom Sears down in 8th. Tommy Reynolds takes 2 stage points in 9th. And Briley Wright the last stage point for stage 2 in 10th. So pit stops happening here. Those that stayed out, they pit on the last 2 cautions. Harger pit on 67, gained a pit on 73, so did Pete Woodrum. Donald Ray jumps it out of pit lane. He'll take the lead out of pit lane, provisionally speaking. Breo will drop down to 2nd on pit exit. Again, Harger, Gaiman, and Woodrum, they pit on the last caution, so they don't have to pit here. Kirk came out 3rd in line, Pannell 4th in line, Estes 5th in line. So, bit of a shakeup here. Szymkowski, a big loser. He'll drop down to 15th when we get back going here. That is a huge drop for Szymkowski from 7th to 15th. A loss of 8 spots for him. But Harger now leading laps here at Atlanta. So it doesn't appear that Harger, Gaiman, or Woodruff are pitting this time, so they're going to be the ones that start us back under green here when we start stage number 3. Donald Ray in 4th, Jeremy Breo down in 5th, then it's Trey Kirk in 6th, and then number 66. Cody Pannell in the 28th, Toby Estes in the 78th, then it's Jacob Blankenship in the 85, Seth Wansing rounds out the top 10, and then number 9 machine. All eyes going to be at Jeremy Breo. He lost a spot to Donald Ray on pit lane. He's won the last 2 races at Las Vegas and Phoenix coming into the night, trying to make it 3 in a row. I believe the light on the pace car is off. Indeed it is, so we're about to go back to green flag, and we will crank it up when we go back racing. Green flag back in the air. We're underway for stage number 3. It's Cody Harger at the front. Gaiman and Woodrum top 3. We're going to crank it up for you. You see Braille on the bottom here. Donald Ray on the second and the inside line, trying to get around the cars that did not pit. Harger in that number 32. Gaiman in the 61. Cody Pannell also coming up on it as well, the 28. Trying to get around those that stayed out. Pete Woodrum's already dropped down to 13th. He's already well out of it. But for Harger and Gaiman, it was a chance to get them a breath of fresh air and get them out of the traffic. And now when they drop back, they'll drop back slowly over time here. And what they're hoping is that they'll eventually still be above where they were going to be had they pit with everyone else. Tommy Withers has had issues. And you see the damage on that car. That is not a clean looking race car. That car is pretty trashed. But he's staying with it. He's 18th, last car on the lead lap. If he can just hold on. Gave him a little bit of a wiggle in the number 61. Good company to be in. Brayo, Ray, Harger, Pannell, Wanson, Gaiman, Reynolds, Kirk, and Blankenship all right here. They see Blankenship's 3 seconds off the pace, but Blankenship would not be bad as caution has come out. Who's it for? Matthew Kent. And it looks like Thomas Andrews. Yeah, that's 2 cars. Junk. That is a lot of damage to that number 2 machine. You can hear it's off. Oh, that is a horrible look for that number 2 machine. He has had no luck today. And Matthew Kent's luck has gone from bad to worse too. Did so well in the heat race. His best ever result in the heat races. Only to have his race go this poorly. Not a ton of damage on the 31, fortunately. But another setback for him. He was the first car not on the lead lap, and now it's going to go to Daniel Maddox, I believe, as far as lucky dog. Here's why. And not sure if it started with Kent. There's Jonathan Hohenbrink, who I believe is involved in this as well. Take a look at it. Oh no, it's Andrews. Andrews starts it. And you see, he's already drifted up way wide. See the damage on the front of that car. Does not make it easy. And he's right there in front of Gabbard and Hohenbrink. So almost got Gabbard. Did collect Hohenbrink, and not a lot of damage there. That secondary hit with the wall there is going to hurt him. But not the end of the world. So Matthew Kent sitting in 20th. He's going to be behind Daniel Maddox, who's going to get the lucky dog here. In fact, he's already gotten the lucky dog, so he'll be now a lap ahead. I believe he's only going to be 2 laps down? 3 laps down? He is 3 laps down. As Jeremy Brayo leads from Donald Ray and Cody Harger. So this is going to be interesting here. To see if we can get another green flag running here, because now a lot of people are on different strategies. Blankenship on down from 11th have come in this time. So it's going to be an interesting scenario to see how everyone handles the ending stage of this race strategy-wise. Or if everyone's just kind of banking that it's going to be yellows and we're not going to have a green flag stint. Which is possible. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. It's Bren over Ray. Bren's going to try to set sail like he did in the second stage. It's a race job to try to keep up with him. Right now, officially Cody Harger in that orange machine on the oldest tires in the grid. He's just trying to hang on for your life. Cody Harger slowly dropping down the order here. He's on those older tires. He last pit on lap 67. Everyone else is put on 81 or later. So he is definitely suffering, but he's doing really well here. The gamble for him has worked tremendously well. He's put himself in a group of really fast drivers, a bunch of really skilled drivers near the front of the field, and it's letting him kind of shine here a little bit. He's able to kind of take his time. He's able to sort of shadow people here. But he's in a safer part of the track right now. And for him, that is a night and day difference, and he's been able to enjoy that through the end of stage 2 and the beginning of stage number 3. It'll be interesting to see how his strategy pays off for him here, knowing everyone's got at least one more stop in this race. But everyone does. Everyone's going to be pitting differently. So Harger's sitting in 6th. He's sitting well. He's doing really well for himself. He's ahead of Donald Ray and Briley, Wright, and John Smeal, who themselves are having good races so far. And Joshua Gaiman has recovered from an early excursion to be in this top 10 conversation. Right now, things are looking really good, although keep an eye on that 61. He's one of those that pit on lap 93, and he's moving. That 61 car is on a move. He's already up to 7th and trying to get away with it. So again, Cody Harger trying to stay in this lead group, but he's slowly losing it. Those tires beginning to show their age. Trey Kirk, the last car in this top 5. Top 5, still really close. Breo's not been able to pull away the way he did in stage 2. You do have to wonder if it's because everyone's on the same tire wear or the same age, having all been on lap 81. Josh Galen in 6th. Again, keep an eye on that 61. 12 lap different tires at around this point do become more of a factor. So that 61 sitting best of the rest so far as far as those that may have to stop the latest to make that final pit stop. But to my understanding, you can't go 70 laps on a tank of fuel here. So everyone's got to pit. No one can get away with it unless they were pitting now. You'd be able to possibly get 50 laps, which should be what we're approaching here. But you can definitely not get above 60. So Trey Kirk now in 5th. You see Galen in that 61 just blitzing by everybody. One of the cleaner cars in the field. Tobias still has a damaged race car, so his car is not 100%. Jacob Blankenship's not 100% in that 85 machine. But they are also making their way up. The 78 and the 85 here. I'll actually switch to them here in a second. Tobias did use a fast repair. He's just been taking his time getting through traffic as Donald Ray. No, that was John Smeal. And he's going to lose it. Is it going to be a yellow? It is not. No yellow. No caution for John Smeal. He drops to being the last car on the lead lap. But we're still good. There's a car in the wall. It's Breo! Can he keep it safe? He does, and he keeps it out of the way. We're going to stay green here. But one of the favorites to win this race just suffered a massive setback. He's going to drop down here. He's not going to fall below John Smeal, but he's going to drop down to 16th in that 74 machine. He was doing so well. And now he's handed the lead off to his teammate, Cody Pannell. who's got a battle with another team sideswipe driver and Tommy Reynolds. We're on lap 115. The 61 looks so strong right now because he is on those pressure tires. He's already battling for second place with Reynolds here. And it's a matter of time before the 61 of Gaiman does get around. Right now, there's a lap car on the bottom here. I'm not sure which one it is. That is 75, James Kerr, our Fontana race winner. Top through, we'll use the high line to get around him. He's not terribly off the pace, but you see the damage on that car. Doesn't help anything. Car in pit lane, that is the 30, that is the 66 of Cody Harger. There's two 66 cars for those that are still confused. He is listed in the timing and scoring as a 32, but they didn't change that paint scheme in time. So Trey Kirk is also in the 66. This is the official 66, sitting in fourth. Top three knows the tail. Trying to maintain that 1-2 right now for team side, so it was going to be a 1-2-3. It still could be with Trey Kirk. But Breo having that slight mistake, that rare mistake for him today, is been super costly at the worst part of the race that you could possibly have. Right now, Gaiman's not pressing to become the race leader here, which is an interesting situation because I believe that's a saving strategy. I don't know why you'd want to save here, knowing that you've already at a 12-lap advantage. Unless he has numbers that I'm not sure of. Pannell and Reynolds, it's top four is just so hard to separate. Tommy Andrews was saying a tough day for the Blue Dudes. It was a really rough day. It was either bad luck or no luck at all for the number 2 car. Eventually having to just call it a day here at Atlanta. We'll take a look at the track temperatures here as we're about to end the race. We're in the final stages here. 12-mile-an-hour winds, that has something to do with it. Air temperature 85 degrees, track temperature 111. Yeah, it's a little bit slick, but drivers are figuring it out. We're getting some really good racing out of it here. Pit stops happening, green flag pit stops, and Gaiman came in. Gaiman came in with them. That might be a penalty for Gaiman, for both Gaiman and possibly Reynolds. It's going to give the lead to Briley Wright, but we'll have to keep an eye on that 61 because he was in the grass. That might be an unsafe pit entry. There's Briley Wright coming into pit lane. Jacob Blankenship will take over the lead ahead of Tom Sears. For a period of time, Sears was in the top 10. He's been more quiet and reserved in stage 3 here. Caution here will put him right back in the mix. We're going to keep an eye. Joshua Gaiman and Tommy Reynolds, they both got penalties. They both got penalties. Saw Reynolds just start rolling. There's Gaiman, but he's going to go almost a lap down here. He does go a lap down. So Blankenship, Sears, Woodrum, and Riggs, they last pit on lap 96, or lap 93, so they can technically go a lot further than this. They can go pretty far on this, but how far do you want to go? I guess for them right now, there's no harm in staying out because they have everyone fifth on down on a lap down. I guess there's no harm in that. But eventually there will be a point where the time being lost is too much. So that is going to be the strategy call that they're going to have to make here. But right now, they're in pretty clear sailing, and if a yellow comes out, they are safe. And it's a gamble worth taking. Sears catching up to Blankenship here. That might be a little bit of a battle for the lead. Sears has had a good car. The strategy's not gone his way so far in the middle stage of this race, so it's taken him a while to get back here. A gamble like this could be what he asked for. So we'll see what we can do. Tom Sears in pit lane. As you see a couple of the race leaders. When everyone pits, that group of three, Pannell, Harger, and Kerr, they will be the ones to be back in control of this race. When Blankenship eventually pits, that's going to be how it is. Tom Sears coming out next to Daniel Maddox. He's going to be 10th here. He's going to lose 10th to... No, he's not going to lose 10th to Gaiman. He might lose 10th. No, he won't lose 10th to Reynolds either. He'll just be firmly in 10th. Szymkowski's in 11th, and there's the gap to him. Not really that close. Blankenship's in, so is Woodruff. So that's going to give the race lead back to Cody Pannell. We're in the final 30 laps of this race, coming to 29 to go. No, excuse me, we're still on 30 to go. Leaders are just now starting, not lap. They're going to get around as 20 of Jonathan Holmberg on the bottom. Breo's crashed. And Breo warped back to pit lane. What happened to Breo? Did he get loose out of 2? Oh yeah, he got loose out of 2 and just smacked the wall hard. The run for 3 in a row comes to an end. His teammate, though, in the race lead, it's Pannell, Kerr, Harger. Top 3. Harger just tagged the wall. He's going to lose a little bit of time. Team sideswept 1-2, but it's Pannell and Kerr. Six cars out of this race, 24 still running. But the battle for the lead is right here. Team sideswept 1-2, Kerr to the bottom. He wants the race lead, he's gonna get it. Clears Pannell. Here's the battle between Szymkowski, Matthew Kenner in front of him, not on the lead lap. That's a car coming out in pit lane. Tommy Reynolds is that car. Toby Estes, our pole sitter, down in 4th. Another race of what could have been for the 78 car. He's been fast, just inopportune accidents has left him 4th at the moment. Briley Wright sitting in 5th. A good result for him after what has been a wild race for that 51. Seth Lansing. This is going to be a race that's going to be seen as probably a little bit disappointing for him. 25 to go in this race. Tom Sears sitting in 7th. He's going to be he's battling right now with, I believe that's Gaiman, who's not on the lead lap. Blankenship in 8th, so a little bit further behind. Then Szymkowski in 9th, and Donald Ray just now coming out of turn 2 in 10th. Here's your race leader, still nose to tail. Aiming down in the 14th spot. First car, 1 lap down. If a yellow were to come out, he would be getting bailed out by that one. It's Gaiman, Withers, Catania, 1 lap down. Reynolds, 2 lap down. Kent and Maddox, 4 laps down. Lap car getting out of the way. That is Hauck. You see that car all torn up. He's just trying to get laps completed. See if Pannell can try to take this lead back here. With lap traffic, a lot's possible. "20 laps to go here in Atlanta." It's Kirk, Pannell at the front of the field, and it's them on their own. It's 4.5, almost 5 seconds to Toby Estes. That is for third. Cody Harger is struggling. He is in the 5th spot. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are in this battle right here. Tom Sears in 7th, not far behind. So this battle could heat up massively. Battle for 3rd, a battle for the lead. As we look at Cody Pannell here, wish we could kind of just split the cameras up. Keep an eye on both. But here's the battle for the race lead. Trey Kirk up 13 spots. Cody Pannell, where he started. And Kirk right now, very happy. He's nothing but lap traffic ahead of him. But he's been picking the lap traffic off really well. He's getting around the 48 at Catania to put him 2 laps down. And the stall out on the bottom lane is real. They're going to eventually get by him here. Catania's not going to make it easy. If something happens to Gaiman or... really, it's kind of just Tristan Catania and Joshua Gaiman at the front that are 1 lap down at the moment. Withers 2 laps down. He went 2 laps down a while ago. So Catania was trying to hope that something happens to Gaiman and he can stay on the lead lap or stay a lap down and get that lucky dog if a late yellow happens. But the Team Sideswept car is again just really fast today. You can see that. Breo was really strong. Unfortunately, his race has come to a uneventful end. But you see here, like, there's still 3 cars in the top 10. Szymkowski's in 9th. So it's not all bad here for Team Sideswept. 3 cars in the top 10 is a really good day. But just we're going to see a new winner this season. Someone's going to lock themselves in to the A² playoffs. Just a question of who. So here's the battle for the race lead. Here's the battle for 3rd. Tom Sears said that he was in range. Yeah, he's in range. He's up to fourth now, trying to reel in Tobiaski and take the podium spot away from him. Yeah, he takes the wall. Briley Wright did a great job to stay off of him. That was almost a disaster. But he did a really good job. Jacob Blankenship, you see at the bottom of the board on your right, that's the gap. Harger comes in. He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now everyone that hit on lap 124 or so should be fine. But Cody Harger hit on lap 115. He could not make it. For those that are wondering what the numbers look like, it's not 50 laps. Looks like it's 45. Which is going to be really close. That's going to be really close. 163 is the laps being run. We're on lap 152. Theoretically, everyone that pit after lap 120 should be safe. But that's really difficult. Pannell's back to the lead, but now I think here comes where the actual battling is going to take place here. It's a Ford versus Chevrolet, but it's an all-team side swipe. This is the battle for third. Again, 4 cars in a blanket here. Tom Sears still in the conversation, so is Briley Wright. And they've got lap traffic to contend with as well. That is Daniel Maddox up in the wall, but he's letting all the leaders go by. This is the lead. This battle's everyone in the top 5. Pannell takes the lead right back from Trey Kirk. We're within the final 10 laps. Blankenship trying to pull away with third place here. Might have ended that battle for third if they can get away. But this battle for the lead's not going anywhere. And lap traffic's making it a little bit more difficult too. laps to go. And now Kirk, Blankenship top 3. Blankenship has pulled a gap on Estes and Sears. So that battle for third has fizzled out, but the battle at the front still intense. Pannell and Kirk. It's a second gap. Kirk's been trapped behind lap traffic. As Smeal! John Smeal almost wrecked it in front of Trey Kirk, and that would have been a disaster. He's going to keep it rolling, and we're going to stay green. But that could have been an instant disaster. Ready to go. The gap is 1.3. Trey Kirk tried to hang in there, and now that the lap traffic's out of the way, we'll see if he can close the gap. But Cody Riggs, he recently pit, so he's trying to get his lap back. Because that 3 car, if he gets his lap back, if the yellow comes out in the next 2 laps, big game changer. But he may just be kind of content to stay behind the 28 to the chagrin of the 66. Coming to the white flag here in Atlanta. He's going to let Riggs go. Went up high, gave Riggs the bottom. 1 lap to go here in Atlanta. It's Pannell out front and Kirk and Blankenship. Blankenship's cut the gap a significant amount. So is Kirk, but Kirk still has a lot to gain. 7/10 here in 1 lap. Not very likely here as Kirk almost spun it out of turn 2. We're going to get a first-time win of the season. Pannell's he won last season. But he's going to get himself into the win column here today. Cody Pannell wins at Atlanta. That was a race. That was one of the better races I've seen here in Atlanta. There you go, Cody Pannell. Your race winner here at Atlanta. He locks himself in to the A squared playoffs with his win tonight. Now taking the Polish victory lap here around Atlanta in that CarQuest number 28. He puts himself into the next-gen playoffs here. Trey Kirk, again, close, but still waiting for that first win of the season. There you go. That was actually a pretty exciting race. A lot of green flag racing, a lot of strategy there at the end there. Making sure everyone was within the pit window to be able to make it to the end without making another stop. We'll take a look at the finishing results here in Atlanta. Toby Estes, this is the warm-up session. Here's the feature. Cody Pannell at the top of the standings. He wins here at Atlanta. Joining him on the podium will be Trey Kirk for Team Sideswipe, as well as Jacob Blankenship in the 85. Tom Sears close to the podium, but not close enough. He takes 4th place ahead of Briley Wright. Seth Wansing in 6th ahead of Alex Szymkowski. Pete Woodrum in 8th. Cody Riggs in 9th. Donald Ray in 10th. Cody Harger made it up to 11th spot. You see Toby Estes, our pole sitter, was in the battle for the 3rd position, but ended up dropping down to 13th. Had to pit at the end of the race. Joshua Gaiman in 12th between Harger and Estes. John Smeal in 14th. Then it's Tristan Catania in 15th. Tommy Withers in 16th. Matthew Kent in 17th. Daniel Maddox 18th on the road. Looking down the rest of the grid, you see Daniel Maddox in 18th. Reynolds in 19th. Jonathan Hohenbrink brings it home in 20th. Dustin Painter 21st. 23rd for Jeremy Brio. James Kerr the 3rd in 23rd. Then Tommy Andrews, the first car out of this race, in 24th. Terry Gabbard, 25th. Ben Choate, 26th. Kevin Feemster, 27th. Joshua Garrison, 28th. 29th for Brian Rupert. And Trey Bass, 30th on our timing sheets.